What we have right here on this wonderful Friday evening is a little article, okay, by one of my favorite outlets that are out here, and I want to see what they're talking about when they're trying to build better betas, build better men. Sorry, I misspoke. Sure. What does the word gentleman still mean anything today? Here's why it should. This ought to be fun by this beta orbiter simp, Leonard Sachs. How appropriate. Sachs in the last name, Sachs across his chin. I was speaking to a freshman class at Wabash College, a small all-male college in Crawfordsville, Indiana. I said at the end of my speech, "Boys, how many of you would like to go to the group shower to celebrate?" "What does it mean to be a gentleman?" I asked. "To be a simp. Beta." Something like that. "Raise your hand if you'd like to share your definition of a gentleman." Interesting. A respectable man amongst other men. And a man, whether females would love to be in the presence of, sans clothing. That would be my definition of a gentleman. One man offered a gentleman as someone who goes to a gentleman's club and watches girls strip. There were a few laughs. Very few laughs. Because that right there is a simp. Because strip clubs, they're just sad. I've been to one in my life. Yeah, just one. It was for my friend's birthday, and it was dark. It was loud. There wasn't really much going on. The other patrons that were there, they were just kind of staring down. It's like, why am I here? Why is everybody here? This isn't sexy. It's just pathetic. Anyways, yeah, back on point. A few others raise their hand. A gentleman wears a three-piece suit, presents himself accordingly. I would agree with that. You don't have to get into specifics. One said, "A gentleman opens the door for women," said another. Just opens up the door for anybody who needs it, that it's not an inconvenience. Not like you're running across the parking lot, "Let me get the door for you." No, that's just general courtesy, and it doesn't have to be specifically for women. But if you're out on the date, and if you're in the company of a fine woman, then yes, of course, you present that masculine frame. And then your companion also presents a feminine frame, and then you can do those things. Otherwise, if it just goes unreciprocated, you're just being a beta. Nobody respects a beta. We discussed the origins of the term gentleman, which originally simply meant a member of the aristocracy who didn't have to work for a living. Okay? C.S. Lewis observed in an earlier era, one might have said that a particular man, John, is a liar and gentleman. You know, you can still say that, okay. Meaning that although he might be an aristocrat, he is not truthful. But over time, the term came to mean something different. Incidentally, I've found that asking, what does it mean to be a gentleman? And that other men want to be and other women want to be in the company of. How about that? That's what I'm going to settle on. Leads to a conversation much more fruitful than, what does it mean to be masculine, or what is healthy masculinity? No, because you're just trying to put it in a gynocentric worldview when it comes to, oh my god, women respect a gentleman. No, they don't. They take advantage of gentlemen. That's what the world wants you to be. God, I'm glad I picked this article. For better or worse, many boys equate masculinity with physical strength and endurance. Yes, weight training and football. Okay. Competition, physical improvement. Are those such bad things? Why wouldn't you not want those associated with masculinity? As a matter of language, they can't really get their heads around a masculine man engaging in the visual arts of poetry or ballet. Build better betas. You start laughing, imagining an NFL offensive tackle wearing a tutu, and they can't really accept the idea of how a gentleman who excels in the visual arts of poetry or ballet. Yeah, if they do it for themselves, that's totally fine. If that's a part of their game, then great. There's a lot of masculine dancers that are out there. However, the term is defined. There are not many gentlemen to be found among young male celebrities today. True. There are very few good role models that I see out there today. You can go back in time and you can take a look at a bunch of the strong characters that were out there, okay? At one point in time, I would have said Arnold Schwarzenegger, not current day Arnold, okay? Clint Eastwood, he immediately comes to mind, and we could probably go back even further than that, but that's where I'd probably draw the line. Bruno Mars earned 6 Grammys for a song in which he tells a young woman, "You and your ass invited." Okay? It's called Game, stupid. Get some. And offers her money if she will just turn around and drop it for a player. Okay. Shouldn't be paying for that type of stuff. What the hell is wrong with you? Because that's what I like. Title of the song, Drake. You're gonna try to put up Drake as any sort of beacon of masculinity? sorry about your warped perception of the world, conquered the pop charts last September with his album Certified Lover Boy, taking 9 of the top 10 spots. Yeah, that's wonderful. Boys are not born knowing what it means to be a gentleman. No, they have the general inclinations of what it means to be masculine. You have to allow yourself to be formed in the gynocentric social order in order to be a quote-unquote gentleman. You know, the guys that get disrespected, and then magically when a woman turns about 29, 30, 31, somewhere in that area, all of a sudden, now that she's done with all the bad boys in society, that she's worked her way through her years of self-discovery, now all of a sudden she wants a gentleman to pay all of her bills. Imagine that. They must be taught. No, formed, conditioned, just whipped into line. That's what they want. My concern is that in our current era, oh god, this guy's pathetic. Many parents have a little idea what to say to their sons on the topic. So many boys look to the internet, and he's apparently running the Wayback Machine to 2012-ish. Bruno Mars, Drake, Eminem, Akon, John Mayer. John Mayer was popular when I was in high school. What are you doing? This is pathetic. I visited more than 460 schools. How many cases have you caught, you weirdo? Over the past 21 years, of course. Yes, the best thing about grade schools is I keep getting older and they stay the same age. Creep, this guy. And I have found that most boys are hungry for the conversation. Yeah, no, exactly. To be given the same, just take on a responsibility. But here's the funny thing about that conversation that you'll love to have with boys in various stages of disrobe. Responsibility without authority is slavery. And all you're telling kids, all you're telling young men, just accept your responsibility in society. Meanwhile, society just takes and takes and takes from you, and you're just supposed to put on a strong face. You're just supposed to accept your burden. I don't think so. I don't think so. Gentleman governs his passion rather than being governed by them. Actually, I agree with this point, okay? The Supreme Allied Commander during the Second World War, Dwight D. Eisenhower, bombed the Japanese. Good for him. 2 bombs wasn't enough. A gentleman never strikes a woman, not even in self-defense. I vehemently disagree. Because the moment a woman decides to strike a man, she is no longer acting as a woman. She is acting as a mutual combatant, and she deserves exactly what she gets. A video that till this day will put me on my ass laughing. Is that broad on the Cleveland bus? I'm pretty sure it was Cleveland, where the guy's just driving the bus and she decides to push the bus driver after engaging in this long drug out verbal altercation. And then he just absolutely reaches from the back of his heels and delivers a perfect uppercut that somehow doesn't knock this broad out, but it reduces me to tears even till this day. And probably after I'm done recording this, I'm going to watch it on repeat at least another 100 times because I love that video. It's hilarious. And if that doesn't make me a gentleman in Lawrence Sachs' eyes, then I think I'm probably doing a good job. A gentleman never touches a woman without her consent. Ugh. What do you want, written consent? A gentleman does not look at pornography. I generally agree with that because porn and its easy access is a bit of a scourge on society. But also, in reality, what are we talking about here? Because pornography is degrading. Oh my god, this simp. Not only to the woman who is objectified. No, this guy really doesn't get it, okay? Women are objectified for their bodies and men are objectified by their accomplishments. Let that sink in for a moment. But also the man who uses it. Oh, okay, cool. Once again, just blame the kid, right? I've heard from boys at high schools across the United States that their teacher in health class encourages them to masturbate. And porn is useful adjunct to masturbation. Teacher explains that masturbation is safe sex without the need to worry about obtaining a partner's consent. Such advice reflects an impoverished view of what boys are and what they can become. Yeah, but according to you, you just need to remove the spontaneity of a situation. Oh, okay. I'm not saying going out there, groping anybody, but if you're in a romantic situation with another woman, or with a woman, or a couple women, whatever you fancy, you should know when the time is right. And the only way that you do it is by going out there and laying the bricks, okay? Talking to women. Not even women that you're sexually attractive to, just to work on your game, okay? Oh, and yes, this is his final very salient point. A gentleman does not bully the weak. Instead, the gentleman defends the weak against the bully. Yes, white knight for everybody that's out there. This is hilarious. guess. Depends on what you mean by bully, my dude. You pick on the cripple kid and then just yell in his face because he's being because he's retarded. That's wrong, okay? But if your friend won't leave a bad relationship and you tell him that he's retarded, that's not the same thing. That's not bullying, okay? Or again, you make fun of a fat guy at the gym, he's working out, okay? But if you make fun of your friend who's fat and it just, sits at home on the couch watching reruns of, I don't even know, current show that's on the air, just running back anime in the basement, how about that? Nice and easy. You call him fat then? That's not bullying. That's being a man. Each of these comments inspires a lively response from American teen boys, especially the comments about pornography. These are conversations boys need to have with an adult man who has the courage to use the word gentleman. No. Be masculine. The defiance of the current mainstream disapproval of the term is reinforcing the heteronormative patriarchy. No, it's these plugged-in idiots that think that, oh yes, if I just, can work hard on being a better man, a better provider, then that just means that these weird women of today, I'd have much more colorful terminology if we were on the other channel. But if we just make more responsible men, then we're gonna have better women, yay! No, that's not how it's gonna work at all. And you reinforcing that ideology, that's dangerous, okay? Because then you're just gonna create another generation of frustrated children, frustrated young men who think that, oh, if I just give up all of my resources and I just push all my chips in, then eventually maybe she'll just be ready to give up just a little bit of a peck on the cheek at the end of the night. And if I hold open the door for her so she doesn't bump her head into the glass door while she's texting the next guy so she can go and I can drop her off there so she can get ran through by Chad and Tyrone, eventually at the end of the day, I might be able to catch her while she's feeling a little bit down. Unbelievable. How to inspire boys to want to be gentlemen in a culture which celebrates crudeness and disrespect. Shaming language from another man. Learn to live with it, especially when you're talking this type of stuff. Rather than preaching a sermon, that's exactly what you've been doing this entire time. I have found the boys respond best to stories about real men. In my book, this is all about peddling a book, Boys Adrift. I recommend the story of Joshua Chamberlain, a Bowdoin professor. Yeah, that's wonderful. Most boys want to be good men. I agree. We just have a very different definition of what it means to be a good man. But they are now immersed in toxic culture, which offers Bruno Mars and Drake. I've seen pictures of both of those guys. I don't listen to any of their music. I know I've heard Bruno Mars stuff, and I think that he's very talented. Drake, he was that crippled kid in Degrassi High, right? I don't think I've ever accidentally heard a Drake song, but looking at both of those guys, they aren't peak masculinity. They aren't gentlemen, however you describe it, okay? But I wouldn't consider them role models, okay? They get a lot of box, but is that a mark of success? In some form or fashion. They are definitely men that other men want to be, and wherever they go, other women will be with. But I don't think if the situation got physical, Drake would be the first guy to throw down, okay? If it came to offering guidance, I don't know if Bruno Mars would be able to point a young man in the right direction on how to become, successful. He was born incredibly talented. He's made his millions and millions of dollars off the back of his talent. But could he put forth the hard work in order to create more wealth? I don't really know if he could offer that, okay? So when it's all said and done, how would I define a gentleman? I already told you, okay? Be the man that other men want to be and other women want to be around, okay? Make money, build muscles, learn game, and hold a masculine frame. All of that together, that creates a better man. That fixes the problem of the previous generation, of my generation, and the generation that's coming before me, because there's a lot of warped perceptions of masculinity. Oh, masculinity has a bad reputation. We need to work on building up gentlemen. The days of chivalry are over. Women killed it, and there's no bringing it back, and it's probably better off because of it. Don't want to be a downer. I'm just going to be a realist. With all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.